What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Clown Questions, the show where there are no dumb questions. I'm your host, Matt K. Maurer, and the question on my mind today is who got traded? I'll get into that, and I'll also be interviewing a good friend of mine, Josh MacCudden. He'll be joining us joining us on the show later. So get ready for that. Who is down to clown?
That's a clown question, bro.
So, who got traded? Many people. The biggest event, of course, this Tuesday was the NFL trade deadline. We had a flurry of people get traded, including Tre'Davious White, Preston Smith, Marshawn Lattimore, Mike Williams, Zadarius Smith, and Jonathan Mingo. I guess I should go through the trades one by one. I'm not really going to get into the compensation. There's been so many trades already. It's kind of hard to keep track of, but I think most of these trades were for draft picks. So more so going to be making a comment on the players and the teams they got traded to. Tre'Davious White to the Ravens. That's huge. They get another piece in their secondary. You love Trey White. He was a beast in Buffalo. Obviously, maybe not performing that well if the Rams wanted to trade him, but Rams could be sellers. So I don't know. I wouldn't give up on Tre'Davious White. Obviously, the Ravens aren't if they're trading for him. Preston Smith to the Steelers. This one hurts a little bit as a Packers fan. You hate to see the Packers. One of the Packers' best pass rushers go, but evidently he was not getting a lot of playing time. So we traded him for a seventh round pick. The part that kind of breaks my heart a little bit is Preston requested the trade. So sad he didn't want to play in Green Bay anymore. But if he was requesting it on the basis of playing time, totally understand that he's worthy of being a starter. A lot of places in the league, and I think Steelers have some injuries, so he might very well be a starter from day one for them. The biggest trade, according to Josh MacCudden, we'll get into that later, is Marshawn Lattimore to the Commanders, and I might agree with him there. I mean, the New Orleans Saints, he's been a stud there forever, and the Commanders, that was the main thing they kind of needed. Was defense. Their offense has been humming. Obviously, they got presumptive rookie of the year Jaden Daniels, so uh, you get a stud corner like Marshawn Lattimore, and they're thinking soupy maybe. I mean, obviously playoffs. I mean, they're a shoe in for the playoffs if they started today. Um, but yeah, Lattimore is probably the best move. We got Mike Williams to the Steelers. That one's interesting because obviously the Steelers needed a wide receiver. But Mike Williams kind of has underperformed this year as a Jet, but maybe that's due to coming back from injury. I think he had a torn ACL, and could be partly on Aaron Rodgers not maybe performing as well as he should be. Tough to say that after he, was looking like he was on fire against the Texans last week. But good trade for the Steelers. They needed another weapon, deep ball threat in Mike Williams. Zadarius Smith gets traded to the Lions. The former Packer, the former Viking, he's now on the Lions. They needed some defensive help after Aiden Hutchinson broke his leg and is done for the year. So good ad for them. I don't think Zadarius Detroit version is as good as Green Bay's Zadarius, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be eating my words when the Lions beat us for the second time this year. I'm not predicting that. We're gonna win the second one. They got us this time, but we're gonna get them next time. And then the last trade, probably the worst trade, was Jonathan Mingo to the Cowboys. I believe Josh told me the Cowboys traded a fourth round pick for him. Now, granted, I don't know much about Jonathan Mingo, and he's been on a horrible Carolina Panthers team uh, as of late. So it's kind of hard to judge his ability. And I don't watch that many Panthers games, so I don't know much about him. But seems like the Cowboys may have overpaid for young Mingo there. But yeah, finally the Cowboys are making moves. I'm sure their fans are thrilled to have Jonathan Mingo as their. Will he be the number two out of the gate, or will Jalen Tolbert still be number two and Mingo as a number 3 guy. I don't know. Only other trade was actually a firing. Fired are Dennis Allen and Luke Getzey. Luke Getzey, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, for not the Ravens, the Raiders, excuse me, the Raiders, as Boomer would say. Good firing there. Their offense has been terrible. Granted, they've had Aiden Minshew and AOC, Alexandra Ocasio Cortez, as their quarterbacks. So not like he had a ton to work with, but I mean, I'm trying to think of some things to say. I'm trying to think of some nice things to say about the Raiders, and I'm drawing a blank here, but maybe he's the scapegoat. But Raiders, they have a ways to go. They're probably thinking about Shador Sanders more than their OC at this point. And then the Dennis Allen firing, the Saints fire him. Saints were supposedly the best team in the league after 2 weeks. They'd scoring 40 points a game, but they lost 7 straight games in a row. And I don't like to celebrate someone getting fired, but Dennis Allen, this is because you started Andy Dalton when you could have started Jameis Winston. That's why you're getting fired. It has nothing to do with the 7-game losing streak you're currently on. Retroactively, they're firing you because they're thinking back. They saw Jameis play 1 or 2 with the Browns. They're like, you know what? We're firing you because you thought Andy Dalton was better last year. And none of these takes have to do with the fact that I'm a huge Jameis stan and would follow that man through the gates of hell. Well, maybe I don't really want to go there, so maybe not that far. But I would follow Jameis Winston into a burning building if I had to. That's what I think of Jameis. So good riddance, Dennis Allen. You could have turned it around if you played Jameis last year, but you didn't, so you're fired. Not trying to do an impression there. I might have accidentally done one. But let's talk some NBA. Should we still trust the process? That is the question we have for the 76ers. That's a question we have for the process, aka Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid has been suspended 3 games for shoving a reporter. I don't have much on this. And I would maybe I should mention that most shows I don't have much on stuff. Half of this show is just me reading headlines. I go into the article sometimes. I went into the article for some info for one of these questions, but the rest is kind of here's the headline. Hopefully I can just talk my way around it. So basically this is a roundabout way of telling people that I'm not very smart. I may look like I know some stuff about sports. I may have even claimed to know stuff about sports, but I really don't. I'm just reading headlines and trying to make an entertaining game. But should we still trust the process? To get back to that question, yes, absolutely. And biased answer because I'm a huge Joel Embiid fan. I'm sure whatever that reporter did, he deserved it, and Embiid made the right move by shoving him. And honestly, this 3-game suspension is great. He's got injury concerns, doesn't want to play back-to-backs this year, so give him 3 days off. You're only rewarding him. The NBA, they had that huge investigation into his playing time. Now they're rewarding him by giving him three off days. Although he probably doesn't get paid for those games, so maybe not much of a reward. But I still trust in the process. I think him and Playoff P are going to put together a little run. I don't know if they're going to win the finals, but maybe finally Joel Embiid will get that coveted Eastern Conference Finals appearance. Maybe he'll finally make it past round 2. And I trust him. I trust in the process. And yeah, I should read more into stories before I talk about them, because all I know is he shoved a reporter and he got suspended. I wish there was a video of this. I don't believe there is. So I don't have a whole lot to say other than I trust in the process. I trust the process, Joel. And Embiid, speaking of another guy who's super freaking tall, are we ready for Wemby? Of course, I'm wearing his jersey. So here's your third straight biased take after a stupid question. This actually isn't a take. This is This question is solely so I can bring back a segment I've had in the show in the past, which is the insane Wemby stat of the day. I'm sorry to everyone listening, but it's back. Insane Wemby stats of the day are back. And this stat is pretty cool. And it was a little surprising to me when I heard it, but Victor Wembanyama this past week became only the third NBA player in history ever to have multiple 5x5 games in his career, 5 for 5. So basically, getting what? It's 5 blocks, 5 steals, 5 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. He's done that twice. Only 3 players ever have done it. Uh, I I I don't know if I intend like initially the insane Wemby stat of the day segment might have been kind of as a joke, just because everyone glazes him, I bought his jersey as a bandwagon because I saw he was a number 1 pick, knew he was going to be really good. Whatever. I'm bringing it back because it seems that every week there's a crazy stat about Wemby, and that's this one. He's the third NBA player ever to have 2 5 for 5 games, 5 for 5 for 5. Angel number 555. I'm really getting off the rails here. In other NBA news, the Toronto Raptors have retired number 15. So, congratulations to Vince Carter, one of the greatest dunkers of all time, if not the greatest dunker ever. Yeah, good tip of the cap by the Raptors to Vince Carter there by putting his number in the rafters. Next question is regarding baseball. How old is he? How old is he? That's the question. So apparently a top MLB prospect, his name is Cesar Altagracia. Apparently he's 5 years older than he initially claimed. This is a ridiculous story. I guess the Padres had him signed to like a $3 million deal or something. I don't think I think they're going to be able to tear up that contract pretty easily after they figure out that he lied. But he claimed he was the age of 14. In reality, he's actually 19 years old, and the crazy part is he actually represented the Dominican Republic at the U12 Baseball World Cup in 2022. So the U12 Baseball World Cup, that's all 12 you have to be 12 years old or younger to compete in that one. In 2022 he was 17, so he was 5 years older than everyone he played. He also did this for the U15 Pan American Championship. This is so ridiculous. I don't know how many of you have seen the movie Benchwarmers, but this is literally a scene from that movie. This guy with a goatee and he's jacked comes out. They're it's like little, it's grade schoolers playing. They're like, "Hey, that there's no way that dude is in 5th grade." And the guy walks up to the umpire with a piece of paper, hands it to him. He's like, "That's my birth certificate." The ref looks at it, the ump looks at it, grabs a $20 bill from it, and it's just a picture of this old man, and written in crayon it says I am 12. That's essentially what Cesar Altagracia did here. And I would say I'm interested to see where this story goes, but this might be the end of the story, because uh, I would be shocked to see him go to the MLB after people figured out that for multiple years he was playing kids 5 years older than he was. Just a ridiculous story. But I don't know. I guess I'm rooting for Cesar Altagracia just so he pops back up in our memory and we can revisit the story. It's like, okay, he was older than everyone else, but he's still pretty good. That seems pretty unlikely. I feel like he was probably pretty good because he was 5 years older than everyone. But yeah, just an insane story. And then the footnote I have here for baseball is the Dodgers won the World Series. I already congratulated the Dodgers last week before Game 4, which they lost. Looked like they were going to lose Game 5. They were down 5-0, I think, in the 5th inning, and then they came back. Teoscar Hernandez tied it up 5 for 5. That'll be a goosebump moment. And they won in Crazy fashion, not that crazy. It was a gentleman's sweep. It only took them 5 games. They win the series 4-1, but crazy in the fact that it was the largest comeback ever in a World Series clinching game. They were down 5-0, overcame that deficit and won the game 6-5, 7-5. I forget. But again, another congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers. My Yankees hatred worked. It worked, apparently. My World Series pick was wrong, but the Yankees lose and America wins. Isn't that what they say? Last question before we get to first year interruption. Is James Franklin Nick Sirianni? Again, dumb question, clown question. But it's a question that needed to be asked because following Penn State's loss to Ohio State, James Franklin had a little confrontation with a fan in the stands. Um, couldn't really make out what the fan was saying. You can hear a little bit of what Franklin's saying. I'm not going to fully get into that right now because he's actually going to be the first year interruption in a moment here. But he might be Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni went viral for yelling at his own Philly fans after a game. It's like, we won. We beat the Browns. We beat Deshaun Watson. Fuck you guys. Dollar for the F-bomb jar. I don't have it on me. Maybe I'll go run and grab it. This is truly horrible podcasting, isn't it? Rather than make a cut there, I made you guys sit in 6 seconds of silence so I could grab $1 for the F-bomb jar for my auntie's charity of choice. But yeah, James Franklin pulled a Nick Sirianni. Both of those guys might be on the hot seat. Penn State might need to make the playoffs to save James Franklin's job. A lot of shit going down at Penn State this weekend. I'm pretty out of shape, as you can see. I'm out of breath from running across the room to grab my wallet. But what else went down at Penn State was Jason Kelce got into it with a fan. He's currently being investigated by the Penn State police. I'm not going to include that video in here, but it's an interesting one if you want to go look that one up. But basically, he got into a little bit of an altercation with the fan. This fan had some very lewd words for him, like, "Hey, how do you feel about how your brother's fucking Taylor Swift?" There's $1 for the F-bomb jar. Jason was understandably pissed. I think he grabbed the guy's phone, chucked it on the ground, and then picked up the phone and kept walking. So he'll probably be investigated by Penn State police for property damage, but it's a crazy video because you can clearly the fans trying to get a rise out of him. Like, no one says that and expects them to react well. Like, no one's going to be happy about hearing someone say something gross like that. But it's just interesting because that guy had a phone in his hand right up to Jason Kelce. And it's kind of this, like, almost this technological divide with Gen Z because he's not looking at Jason Kelce. He's looking at Jason Kelce through his phone. So it's like this absence of reality there. He's not even thinking about what's happening in the moment. He's thinking about, damn, this Snapchat video is going to go crazy. This shit's going to go viral on Twitter. He's not thinking about the fact that he's 2 feet away from a Hall of Fame football player that's pissed the fuck off at him, carrying another $1 for the F-bomb jar, man. Come on, this show's costing me all of my $3 in my wallet. But yeah, he's like just not living in reality, not living in the moment, looking at his phone. I'm obviously guilty of that, but I wouldn't do it to a pro athlete and say some dumb shit like that. So it's just something Gen Z needs to work on, something I need to work on. Stop living through your phone. Maybe talk to Jason Kelce rather than getting up in his face with your phone, because he will grab it and slam it on the concrete. Let's get to first year interruption. Today's first year interruption, as I alluded to, is with Penn State head coach James Franklin. We will be getting interrupted by James Franklin here. I got into it. I'll have audio's not great, but there's the initial clip of him talking to the fan, and then I have some of his post game press conference. Here it is, first year interruption with James Franklin.
Coach, you saw fans throwing things on the field, booing, very frustrated. What's your message to them about today's game?
I understand their frustration. Guys in the locker room are just as frustrated, if not more, but college football has changed. And we have an opportunity moving forward to right some wrongs from today. And that's what we're going to focus on. I get it. We get an unbelievable crowd here. We get unbelievable support. You don't do that without passion. And there's great things that come from that, and there's hard things that come from that. That's part of the job. That's part of the job, and I own it all. I own it all.
He owns it all. Now, I don't know if any of the reporters were courageous enough. I don't know. And I understand why. I don't know if any of them really directly asked him about that interaction, but he kind of indirectly asked it by saying, the fans are pretty upset, and Franklin didn't mince his words. He said I'm gonna own that. He's standing on that. He's standing on business. He's not apologizing to that fan. Really interesting. I don't know what the fan was saying. Definitely mad at Franklin's coaching decisions, and Franklin's talking to the fan, goes, "What's your name? What's your name? If you wanna talk shit, you gotta man up and tell me your name." Which is, it's crazy. I don't know if I was heckling I wanted to heckle. I was at the Bama game, and there was big noon kickoff there. Urban Meyer was there. I wanted to heckle him. I didn't, but if I heckled like a coach and he said, "What's your name?" I don't know what I probably would have done the same thing the fan did and just walked away. It's like, I don't know if I want to stand on those words. But yeah, just a crazy Nick Sirianni interaction for James Franklin there, and I don't know. I guess I'm on his side. It wasn't quite as bad as the Nick Sirianni thing. He's not he wasn't taunting Penn State fans. I guess it was after a loss, but just kind of funny, First year interruption and some lackluster analysis of it as per usual. Let's get to our interview with Josh MacCudden, a great friend of mine, knows ball, big Broncos fan. We talk a lot of football with him. Great interview. So here he is, Josh MacCudden. All right, now pulling up to the pod is a good friend of mine, two-time FIFA World Champion. It is Josh MacCudden. Josh, thanks for joining me on the show today.
I didn't know that was going to be the introduction. All right, little blindsided early. That's fine. I'll roll with it.
Well, it's better than Jono, who's a three-time FIFA World Cup champion.
That is true.
He was the year he didn't have you on his fantasy team. He won another FIFA Cup.
Arguably the worst year for sure.
I think he was called Taco By that year. He went 1-14 or something.
Yep, it was a quick experiment. I was brought back immediately. I think we lost though, that exact same year. The very next year I was brought back, but that's okay. We don't talk about that.
That's all right. It's all on the up and up. But my first question for you is actually going to be, how's the sports card business? Because I know you live with my brother down in Clemson, and
I do.
He tells me you've been cleaning up. He said you had some Tank Bigsby cards, and he scored 2 touchdowns, and you sold them all. How's that going? Tell me about that.
The sports market is alive and booming. It is fantastic, and this is the best time of the year because you get a random game from all these nobodies and their cards explode. Sam Darnold stuff. You could have bought Sam Darnold cards for pennies on the dollar 2 months ago, and now they're all worth at this point 20x from what you were buying them just 2 months ago. So it is It is flourishing.
Yeah, sure. So are
It's the
you,
best.
yeah, are you mostly buying them to then turn around and sell them when you get a chance, or
Yeah,
do you keep some of them as, sentimental things, or is it kind of more of a income stream for you?
I keep a couple. I've got my own little personal collection with some of my Broncos guys and some of the Clemson cards, but for the most part, yeah, it's just business. Just buy them and sell them as quickly as humanly possible, which
Yeah.
again, during the football season is always the easiest.
Yeah, what have been the best sellers for you as of late?
Oof. Best sellers.
Or just like in recent, like who have you sold
The Tank
recently?
Bigsby's have been selling really well. Caitlin Clark is still one of the craziest names. I can list a Caitlin Clark card and it sells top dollar almost within like an hour of posting it. I can never keep a Caitlin Clark card for more than a couple days.
Wow,
It's
that's
insane. Her stuff
awesome.
is crazy.
Yeah,
And all the
everyone.
rookies, all the new guys, the Jaden
Sure.
Daniels, the even the second year guys, all of them sell like crazy.
Yeah. No, that's cool. The Caitlin Clark though, that's everyone just kind of making a bet. Oh, she'll be the GOAT eventually, even though
Exactly.
I'm paying $100 for this card,
Well, that's what it is at
10
the end of
years
the
down the
day.
line. It's an investment.
It's an investment. It's almost like the stock market, but for sports. Because if you like somebody, you buy into them, and if they play good, their stuff rises. It's the same with the NBA right now. Like Cam
Sure.
Thomas, he has his little run where he drops 1 billion points every game, and his cards rise with it, and then he'll get hurt like every season, and it'll drop. And so yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy how much it fluctuates.
Yeah, no, it's and I think it's really cool that you're involved in that and you're actually making like you're pretty much paying your rent with
Yeah,
that
no, it,
stuff.
it, it
That's
keeps
awesome.
keeps the lights on for me, so it's nice. Yeah, it beats doing like a regular 9 to 5 for the time being. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
No
nice.
kidding. No kidding. I might have to hit you up later, ask for some tips on how to get into that. But
There you go.
let's back to fantasy football for a brief moment here.
Yes.
When are you gonna shotgun?
All right. So this is bullshit. So we've first off, I think this was from like a month ago, which is already crazy. I'm like 99% sure John is shotgun.
Yeah, but both team members have to.
Since when? Since when?
This
That's
So
crazy.
if you're
I
not aware of
the
this, we have a
the
rule in our fantasy football league where if you have a player who gets 0 points, you have to shotgun a beer. And I'm still waiting on Josh's, you're not
it's all a sham. The double standard of the double teams has been something in this league for a long time now. And you know what? I put my foot down on it.
we'll
I put my
maybe
foot down.
we'll maybe let John a shotgun for you, but I don't know. I think
That
we
is the thing. Yeah, I
or
was
you
not
have to
aware we had a
shotgun half a
shotgun
beer.
because I think one week we did have like 4 zeros, and
That's
that was rough.
horrible. Yeah, that's rough. That's too many to shotgun, but
But we're on the
um
comeback. Sneaky 4-5 team right now.
well, I'd be yeah. If you guys like somehow if you guys beat me in the playoffs, I'd be pissed because
I
I
would
made a
be pissed
big
as well.
we made a pretty blockbuster trade, DK Metcalf for CMC, but
Yeah, it's not panning out well for us.
yeah, we'll see if it pans out well for me. I don't know if it's smoke and mirrors that CMC might play this week or if he's just knows how to or if he's just allowed to practice again. But
Who knows with him?
yeah,
Until I
enough.
see him on the field, I don't believe anything.
That's, oh, that's fair. Don't vape, kids. But
Good.
enough of the fantasy football stuff. Let's get into the real world a little bit. I obviously want to
Yes.
talk some NFL with you. You're a diehard Denver Broncos fan, so I'll start
Yes.
there. What are your expectations for the Broncos this year? And I guess maybe big picture. Obviously, you guys got the rookie quarterback this year.
Yeah. In years past, I have gotten wildly optimistic about my Broncos. This year was one year where I decided I am not going to get my hopes up super high. I thought we would be like a 5 or 6 win team max. And I think we've blown that out of the water, at least so far. We just don't have any weapons. We don't have any star players. Bo Nix actually looks
Portland.
really good. Yeah, Cortland Sutton is.
Bo Nix realizing on Sunday that he was the wide receiver one all along. He caught
Cortland
that
Sutton
touchdown.
literally would be a wide receiver like 2 to 3 on almost every other team in the league.
He's
He
solid though.
he's fine. He's okay. But that being your number one guy and then having no complimentary guy at all. I mean, there is no other. I mean, Troy Franklin has dropped at least 3 wide open touchdown balls. Lil Jordan Humphrey will be working a drive through in the next 3 months. That guy is the worst player I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
So my expectations this year are I think we could sneak into the playoffs just because of how bad the NFL is. Um,
Offs.
I think
Go.
it's gonna come down to us and the Bengals, which I would probably give the nod to the Bengals, but their schedule's a little bit harder. But yeah, big picture, if we get a weapon on offense, we have the defense for it. We need targets for Bo Nix. We have nobody open on like 90% of our plays.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Well, yeah, I agree with you. I love that defense. Pat Surtain, probably the best cornerback in the league. He's
The
amazing.
best.
Um, but let's talk some moves. We just had the huge event going on yesterday. Everyone was paying attention. The NFL trade deadline, of
Massive.
course, is what
The
I'm
only thing on
referring
my
to. That
mind.
was the only thing on everyone's mind. A lot of trades were made. I don't have to go through the whole list, but in your opinion, what was the most impactful trade? We had a few star players, moving cities.
I think the Lattimore one for sure. Truthfully, I
Mm-hmm.
think that might be the only move that will go down as being impactful at all.
Interesting.
I think a lot of the other moves were pretty lateral. I mean, Jonathan Mingo, that's not going to solve the Dallas problem. Mike Williams,
Another weapon for
it seems like a
Russie.
it just seems like a wish version of George Pickens. Like I feel like they do the exact same thing. So if you're going to throw a 50-50 ball up, I'd throw it up to George Pickens instead of Mike Williams. So I don't really know what he brings.
Mm,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I think the Lattimore one was really the only splashy trade.
yeah. Lattimore to I forgot what team he got traded to. He went
Commanders.
to the Commanders. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're definitely thinking you off. That's for sure.
Oh,
But yeah,
for sure. Yeah, they're
Zadarius
all in.
Smith, Preston Smith, not moving the needle for you either.
Yeah, I mean the Preston Smith one, I think that was good value for the Steelers. I thought that was
Seventh rounder. Yeah,
yeah, I mean you're giving up nothing virtually for a guy who if he's decent, he's fine. Like it's you're giving up nothing, so there's not much risk. Zadarius Smith, it's like how do you replace Hutchinson? You can't.
with
So
Zadarius Smith. That's how.
yeah, I mean again, because what they give up, like a fifth rounder, fourth rounder?
I don't even know if it was that
Maybe
much.
less.
I
Yeah. So
forget.
I mean, again, it's like for what you're giving up, yeah, I like the move, but I don't think it's gonna move the needle too much. Whereas the Lattimore, I think that could be a really, really solid move.
No, I like that assessment because that was kind of their offense has obviously been on fire with Jaden Daniels, so that's been like kind of like the concern is their defense, and they're adding a
100%.
top
Yeah.
cornerback. So no, that'll be huge. You're right. But speaking of the team that Zadarius Smith just got traded to, the Lions, everyone's talking about them. So for your money, do you think are the Lions the best team in the NFL right now?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I don't even think it's really close.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think overall the AFC has a lot of really good teams, and I think maybe their spread is better. But yeah, the Lions they're no joke.
Yeah.
They don't seem to have a lot of weak spots.
Agreed. Yeah, I was hoping we were gonna see some of those weak spots. I mean, I suppose their offense put up only 17, but I mean they still got the pick
Hmm.
six from Love and the
Yeah,
W, so they're
they
gonna
just have
be
so many weapons, and it's
yeah.
like I feel like they haven't even really had a game yet where they've gone 100%. I mean, Laporta's been almost non-existent. Amon-Ra's had a good season, but in
Hmm.
comparison, it's nothing crazy. You get JMO back from suspension pretty soon. Like
Yeah.
they're
And
just so efficient.
they might be the only team in the NFL with two starting running backs on their
That too. I mean, yeah,
team,
that running game. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you stop? They can beat you in so many ways, and it's not like their defense is bad either. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they're the best team hands down.
Yeah, lot to like with with the Lions. But on the flip side, when we go over to the AFC, we
Mhm.
have an undefeated team, the only undefeated team in the league, the Kansas City Chiefs. So do you think can anybody stop the Chiefs?
Yeah,
They're bound to
and you
win
know
their
what?
third straight, bro. Come on.
And I'll give you the best play of the weekend too.
Oh.
Bronco money line.
Oh, okay.
This
They
is your
end the
prime definition of a trap game.
okay, it's true.
This is what I think would have happened with the Baltimore game if they hadn't lost to the Browns the week before.
Sure.
The Chiefs next week, they've just come off an OT win in prime time against the Bucks, NFC. You don't see them often, so that's a big game for them. They've got us this week. Next week, they're in Buffalo.
Oh, it's a look
Their
ahead
heads are
spot.
not their heads are not
They're in
in
Buffalo
they're
already.
already in Buffalo. So you've got Denver coming in a semi short week for them. They're not even worried about it. I think you get a sneaky loss there, and that starts a little bit of a snowball, and the Chiefs come back to planet Earth a little bit because they're not that good. They're just not. Their wins have not been that convincing this year. Their stars look like they've missed some steps. I mean, they're not the Chiefs of the past.
All right, I think I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna place this bet on Fliff because
Yeah,
I really like this pick a lot.
it's and it's a biased pick because of my boys, but I am a
Chiefs
firm
are
believer in
favored
the
by
trap game.
8. It's
Yeah, that's too many.
plus 300 Broncos money line on Fliff.
That's too. Plus, we've always
That's a
had the
big
Chiefs number.
return.
I mean, even when we had Russ last year, I want to say we split the series 1-1, and I think we almost won both of them. Like we
Yeah.
play the Chiefs extremely well.
Yeah, for whatever reason, you guys always play the Chiefs tough. Like in the Patrick Mahomes era when the
Yeah,
Broncos have had some bad teams,
some
you still
horrible
play
teams.
them tough.
Yeah, so
But it's something about the divisional thing, I think. I don't know what it
exactly.
is.
So I think we play
Or-
them tough. It's a perfect, and we just got smoked by the Ravens, so we're pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really like us next week. Dangerously so.
Trap game. Everyone put some money on Broncos money line
Just a sprinkle,
for
just a
Josh here.
sprinkle.
Just a sprinkle. I put $1 on it.
That's all you need.
Yeah. So Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes is on the Chiefs, but
Mhm.
for this season, who's your pick for MVP? I guess I don't know if I'm asking for like a projection or if I'm asking for it right now, but I guess
Yeah. As much as I hate to say it, right now it's Lamar.
okay.
I think
Again,
I think
back
this
to
honestly
back.
might be his better season, like of the two other ones. I mean, again, I'm not a Lamar Glazer, so I have no idea his numbers off the top of my head. But I mean, he's 20-2 right now, touchdown to picks. I'm pretty sure, and that's not including any of his rushing stuff.
Dang.
Yeah, and he's up there for yards. So I mean, this seems like the most dominating season for him statistically, and his team is in a driver's seat position overall. I mean, they play the Steelers twice, so they still have full control over their destiny in the division.
Sure.
I think it's gonna be pretty tough not to give it to him. Joe Burrow's my sneaky second because he's
Okay.
got similar numbers, and I think the narrative of if he is able to make the comeback a little bit and get the Bengals back into a sneaky playoff spot,
They come back from the dead and get a wild card.
exactly. And if they can make a little bit of noise, he still has enough of the the name recognition to where he can win that MVP easily.
Sure. Well, I just had a random thought. What if let me give you a hypothetical. So
Hmm.
you're saying Lamar Jackson. Right now, Derrick Henry, I think he's already over 1,000 rushing yards like halfway through the season. What if Derrick Henry gets 2,000 rushing yards? You got to give him the MVP then?
I think it's definitely a consideration, for sure. I mean, my problem is I've always been a running back hater. I just think the position's overrated. So I don't want to give it to them because I think there's so much more that goes into the running back playing good. I mean, if Lamar
Sure.
Jackson's not throwing, 2,500 yards and 20 touchdowns, you can have 7, 8 guys in the box and blow it up every play.
Yeah,
Lamar's success is opening up that offense. It's opening up that playbook so that as a defense, you can't just take out Derrick Henry because if you do, Lamar is making you pay in every way, shape, and form.
sure. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, you hate running backs. I'm assuming you have some love for quarterbacks. I wanted to hear from a Bo Nix stan. Well, I guess I don't know if you're a Bo Nix stan. You're a Broncos stan, but from a
Mhm.
Bo Nix guy, can you give me the rookie quarterback rankings right now? So we can just talk. The guys who are starting.
Yeah, I mean it's Jaden Daniels number one.
Yeah,
I won't I won't be biased just yet. I mean,
yeah.
he's insane. He's great. He's CJ Stroud of this year. He
Hmm.
looks awesome. That whole team, the vibe, it's very
Vibes are
cool to
high.
see. Yeah, I mean, they're just fun. So yeah, Jane Daniels number one by far. I'm giving Bo Nix number two.
Okay.
I'm giving Bo Nix number two. If you look at his numbers, even I mean, him and Caleb even went through like the same stretch of success in the last couple of weeks where I think they're 4-1 or 4-2 over the last couple games.
Hmm.
And Bo Nix outperformed him in every stat. I mean, he's throwing more. His rushing ability is what people I still don't think are giving him enough credit for. I mean, the dude's
Yeah.
got 4 rushing touchdowns, a nice handful of yards. Like he's athletic. So, and he's making do with a lot less. If you swap Bo Nix and Caleb Williams right now, the Bears have a much better record than what they do, and Broncos have a worse record. We have no weapons. Caleb is
Yeah.
playing with, he's playing with 3 great wide receivers, a great tight end. His O line is shaky, so I'll give him props there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I give Bo Nix the 2 nod, Caleb at 3, and then I like Drake May. Drake May's been sneaky decent, but he's the
Yeah.
4 just because he doesn't have enough under his belt yet for accolades and wins and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah. We'll pencil in JJ McCarthy at 5.
And JJ, I do think he has the potential, but just because of how good Kevin O'Connell is,
That's true.
but
That's a good
yeah,
point.
Bo's the guy though. Bo's the real deal
Yeah. I
so
see it.
far.
Russ was trying to trade after my quarterback Anthony Richardson got benched. Russ is trying to trade me Bo Nix. He's like, "Come on, Matt, trade for him. He's
Hmm.
exactly what you thought Anthony Richardson was going to be, except he's white."
Honestly, no, it's seriously it. Like, it's crazy that he's that
They
he's
have
running the
similar
ball the way
play
he is.
style for sure.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the next Vanilla Vic.
Next Vanilla Vic.
He's great.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, speaking of Vanilla Vic, can the Jets turn it around?
I do think they can.
Not that they have a Vanilla Vic.
Not that they have a Vanilla Vic, but yeah, I do think they could. I think you saw a little bit of it. I mean, I still think the Texans are a little fraudulent.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's another thing. But I mean, yeah, Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Brees Hall. That's all you have to say. They'll figure it out, and I think they already are starting to figure it out. Again, the AFC has a couple juggernauts, but the wild card is still very open. I mean, I think it's going to be 9 wins is on the fringe of getting in still. So the 3 and 6 teams are not dead just yet.
Yeah, if you go 500, you got a shot at that 6 or 7
One
for
thousand
sure.
percent. And there's so much like interdivision play still to go that it's going to be a very different looking playoff picture. And I think even like the next 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think it'd be fun to watch the Bengals and Jets climb their way back into it.
Hmm. I
Well,
think it could happen.
yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, here's a team that probably won't climb their way back into it. In the NFC, do you think should the Cowboys blow it up? Should we just call it?
They are a really tough team. I would be really sad if I woke up every day and was a Cowboy fan because that just sucks. That sucks.
They
And
got Jonathan Mingo now. Come on.
yeah, I mean they got and they're down a fourth. It's the team is just bad. Mike McCarthy,
Wait, they
he'll be
traded a
gone.
fourth for Mingo?
Yeah, they
Oh
they
my.
overpaid for him big time.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean McCarthy will be gone within the next month or two. He's done,
He's
completely done.
he's gonna get scapegoated.
He's terrible.
You don't think it's a scapegoat. You think he's just
Oh
bad.
no, he's just bad.
He's a bad coach.
He's just horrible.
Yeah.
They have no development skills on that team.
Mhm.
Zero.
Yeah.
They got CeeDee Lamb, great. They've got no running game really. I mean, Rico Dowdle's making do. And the craziest part, I feel like their O line isn't horrible, if
Hmm.
I'm not mistaken. I could be speaking out of my ass with that, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure their offensive line isn't that bad. So
Right.
for them to just be as horrible as they are, I think it gives a lot of credit to Dan Quinn. That at least on paper, that seems like the biggest piece that's changed from last year to this year, and you're seeing the repercussions of it. The defense is in shambles in
Yeah.
comparison. The vibes are terrible, and meanwhile in Washington,
Trayvon Diggs is getting into fights with reporters.
exactly. I mean, there's just no. It's just a bunch of head cases on that team, and everybody's pissed off because they all think they should be so much better than they are.
Yeah. They made the Diggs and the reporter made up though. He bought him some, I think he said like D's nuts during the interaction, and then he bought him some like nuts that were, I guess they were D's. Like D made them.
Wow,
So
that's nice of him.
so
That's really
they
nice of him.
so they made up. So maybe that'll turn the Cowboys
It's
season
like
around. But
the Mets grimace. Him doing that will really fix their whole season.
Grimace got that team to the playoffs. I'm
They did.
convinced. I'm
That he
convinced.
did.
Yeah.
Cowboys got to send a text out
Yeah.
because yeah, they need something.
They need some magic here. Um Enough on the Cowboys. I think you and me have pretty pessimistic views on their season right now.
Mhm.
But there's a division that is so convoluted right now, and on paper there's a team that should be better than the rest. But I wanted to get a pick from this division for you.
Mhm.
So not your division, the AFC West, but the NFC West. Can you give me a pick in that division? Because what do we got? Just a
Yeah.
jumble of teams are all at like 500 right now, right?
Yeah. This is a very very interesting division. So originally my original thing before the year started, I said the Cardinals were going to be sneaky.
Okay, you were
I
right.
did, and so far they're right where I thought they'd be. As dumb of a thing as this sounds, when they throw the ball to Marvin Harrison, they win games. It's just it's like
That's so weird.
it's the craziest thing. I don't know how they haven't fathomed that yet. Is when Marvin Harrison plays good, they are winning games, and when he
Yeah.
has his two target one catch games, they're losing. It's like okay, you got. I mean, it kind of adds up. So I really like the Cardinals. That being said, Matthew Stafford is a top 5 quarterback when he's got his toys to play with. And right now he's got his toys. Cooper Cup,
Yeah.
Nakua, he's making Robinson look like an all-pro guy. You still have Kyron. The defense is playing good. They're my favorite in that division.
So you don't
I
like the
really like the Rams.
49ers? You don't like the Niners then?
I don't. I think they're too broken
Interesting.
right now.
Hmm.
They're very hurt. You're
What if
obviously don't know
McCaffrey
about
comes
you.
back this week?
That will be the big thing. Is McCaffrey coming back? Because what are they? Are they 4-4?
They're 4-4. Cardinals are in first place at
Yeah,
5-4.
I know.
Seahawks are in last place at 4-5. So
Yep.
they're all there's like a game separating all four of them. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be really, really close. Um, Obviously the tiebreakers are gonna be huge, but yeah,
Mhm.
I just think a healthy offense for the Rams is really, really hard to beat. But yeah, CMC coming back, that'll be the X factor.
Mhm.
Is again that dude is the biggest anomaly right now in my eyes of if he's gonna come back and play good, if he's gonna come back and be broken right away, like who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. But your official pick is the Rams.
Yeah, give me the Rams. I'm a Matt Stafford guy.
All right. I
I,
respect it.
I love him.
It was no, but yeah, your point with the weapons is so true because Puka's first game back, it looked like he didn't miss a beat. He looked
Exactly.
exactly like the rookie of the year he was last year.
Yeah.
I think he
And,
won rookie of the
and
year.
Cup is right back
No,
to the
Stroud did.
reception
Never mind.
juggernaut that he always is. Yeah, I mean that offense runs really, really well when they're all healthy.
Yeah, and Kyron's one of the most underrated running backs in the whole league. So
Yeah.
I don't hate the pick. I'd probably pick the 49ers, but maybe that's recency bias. I could, but yeah, I
Yeah. I can
got
see it though. Yeah, I can
yeah.
see that too.
Yeah, anyone's division, but the Seahawks.
I would agree. Yeah, the Seahawks are in trouble. I think it's getting close to Sam Howell time, I think.
Oh, not believing in Geno.
Yeah,
Fully right
I mean,
now.
at some point when they're out of it, I think you got to give them a shot just to see. I mean, 30-plus-year-old Gino's not your answer.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I got a bunch of more picks for you. Two more NFL picks for me here.
All
First
right.
off, give me a Thursday night football pick. We got Bengals at Ravens. Ravens are favored by 6.
This is a very, very finally a good Thursday night game.
Right?
This is a toughie. I'm going to steal the line from the great Dave Portnoy. The hungry dog runs faster. Bengals are in must-win mode. They just are.
Yeah.
Joe Burr looks like he's dialed. This game last time was a classic, all-time game. So, unfortunately, with how bad the Bengals defense seems, they're gonna have to put up a shit ton of points again. No T. Higgins is scary, but 6 points is a lot, especially
Yeah.
from divisional matchup. So
Mhm.
I would lean towards Bengals +6. I'd really lean towards the over, whatever that is. I'm guessing in the 50s somewhere.
Whatever it is, you got the over.
But I do like the over. I think there's gonna be points. I think there's gonna
Sure.
be
Maybe
a
make
lot
a
of.
little over and Bengals +6 parlay,
There you
something like
go.
that,
Exactly. And sprinkle the Broncos money line in there.
and sprinkle Broncos money line in there against the Chiefs. They're gonna end the undefeated season for the Chiefs.
End it.
Well, speaking of the Chiefs, probably, can I get a Super Bowl pick out of you,
Yeah.
Chiefs?
Oh God, no. No. I don't even think no. No, no. Mm-mm. I love the Lions, so it's the Lions from the NFC for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody comes close to them really. AFC's tough. In my heart, I want the Bills. On paper, right now, I'd say it's the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
But in my heart, I'm rooting for the Bills Lions Super Bowl.
Okay, I like it.
That's
That's
what I
what I
want.
picked preseason. I like
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm thinking. But
But
again, the Ravens are really good too. It's just the playoff success.
so Bills Lions in your heart, but Ravens
Mhm.
Lions on paper.
Yeah, that's
And
what I would
who
say.
who wins in your heart and who wins on paper?
Bills win in my heart. Bills win in my heart.
And on
Lions
paper?
win on paper.
Okay, sure. So
Yep.
the Lions would beat the Ravens, but not the Bills.
Yeah,
Okay. All
that's
right.
what I think.
I like it. Everyone's high on the Lions, as they
Mhm.
should be.
I agree.
Um, yeah, but let's talk some college football. Um,
Yeah.
I owe you and John an apology. I'm sorry. I think I might have jinxed you guys when Jonna came on the podcast and I said, Jonna, this part isn't even a question. Clemson's a lock for the playoffs.
Oh
And
man.
now they lose to Louisville. So
Yeah.
is all hope lost for Clemson?
It's not great. It's not great. You can definitely feel it around campus too. The problem is that this is out and it's happened 4 years now. You get your hopes up and they just get destroyed. Because yeah, at this point you need Miami or SMU to lose, and then I think we get back in somehow maybe.
Maybe get to the championship game.
But it really does not look. It doesn't look because from what I remember and what I know, it's the top two teams in the ACC play each other for the championship.
Yeah, there's no more
And it's based on
divisions.
conference record. So
Yeah,
we need SMU or Miami to lose one of their next games. And then I don't know how that works with tie breaks and stuff like that because
sure.
we'd obviously have 2 losses. They'd have one, but we'd be the same for conference. So it's not going to be good. I don't think we have a chance, which sucks because I think that Miami Clemson championship game to get into the playoff would have been electric.
Yeah. For
But
real. For real. That would
yeah,
yeah, a
we're gonna see
playoff
it.
game before the playoffs.
Exactly. Yeah, it would have been pretty awesome. And even then, it's like if that's your only other loss and you kept the game close, I still think we might have a chance of
Mhm.
sneaking in as like a 10 or 11 with
Right.
how crazy the whole college football landscape is, but yeah,
Yeah.
at this moment there's not a lot of hope.
But hey, who knows if SMU loses and you guys end up beating an undefeated Miami team in the championship? I mean,
Yeah.
that's a playoff team in my
Oh
book.
yeah. Well, yeah. I
But
mean, the
yeah,
winner of the
that's
ACC gets in no matter what. So it's like if
right.
there's a way we can
You're
sneak,
right. Yeah, it's automatic, I
yeah,
guess.
we got to find a way to sneak into that championship game. It's just we're gonna need a Louisville-esque miracle to happen to another team.
Yeah. I don't know what Dabo was doing, why he didn't go for two late in
There
that
was
game.
there was quite a few questionable things. I thought the whole game plan from like the third quarter on seemed like we were playing with a lead that we didn't have. It just
Oh,
didn't make a lot of sense to me. The play calling, the pace that we were going at, it was yeah,
yeah. Well,
mind numbing.
this next question is kind of related to Dabo because I feel like I know a little bit about how he feels about it, but how do you personally feel about like NIL and the transfer portal and how that's affected the college football landscape? Dabo doesn't seem like a big fan of it.
No, Dabo's an idiot when it comes to that. It's so stupid. It's like you don't have to be a fan of it to not use it. It's like the 4-year-old refusing to eat dinner because he's mad at his parents. It's like you're just hurting yourself. You're not doing anything big. Like you're the only
Yeah.
guy not using it, and it shows. It's so obvious. I mean, this has now happened 4 years in a row where on paper, yeah, you look like you have a great team, but not compared to everybody else that's using the portal and going out and making their entire team stack, not just a couple recruits here and there. So yeah, he's a moron with it. As much as I want to hate the transfer portal, I think it's created a really, really good product for college football landscape. Look at this year in particular. I mean, you're going to have a 12-team playoff where I genuinely think any of the 12 teams could win it. And I think that has to do with the NIL and the transfer portal kind of evening things out, allowing star players to kind of form quote unquote super teams, but they're forming them kind of everywhere. So yeah, I want to hate it, but I can't. I do kind of like it.
Fair enough. Yeah, you gotta get Dabo to like it. That's the key there.
Trust me, that dude when he does get cussed out, that's what he gets cussed out about. The campus hates that he doesn't use the transfer portal.
Yeah, I would too. I feel you. I think I feel your pain to an extent. We're not too happy with Coach Luke Fickle either, uh,
Hmm.
over here in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
but yeah, not to get too down on your Tigers there.
yeah, it's
Let's
okay.
talk.
It was a rough football weekend.
Yeah, let's talk more broadly about college. Who's your Heisman pick? You got a pick? Would you place a bet
Yeah,
here?
I mean, the stuff Travis Hunter's doing, it'd be tough not to give it to him. I think. I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
They're
Shadur's getting.
ranked now, right?
I mean, yeah, he's just he's crazy. I mean, what the amount of snaps and everything like that is again, he's another one of those guys. Where it's like I want to not like him, but you just can't. I mean, he's balling out. I don't think it's going to transfer that well into the NFL, but at least for right now, what he's doing on both sides of the ball, you got to give it to him.
Yeah.
You just have to. I think Gabriel's up there too, just for how dominant he is. But it's Travis's award to lose at this point, especially and Colorado's making noise too. They're ranked,
Yeah.
so yeah, he's on the right team. Yeah, I think it's Travis's.
Yeah. No, I like it. Maybe you'll talk about Travis in Colorado in this next question. You got a
Mm.
dark horse playoff team for me? Buffaloes, maybe?
See, their schedule, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is still pretty rough.
Yeah, probably. It's probably not great.
Especially yeah, they're just because well, they're Big 12 now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how good the Big 12 is. I think it's
That conference is just a crapshoot.
yeah.
Anyone could, I think BYU is the in first place right now.
So I mean, sleeper wise, I mean, I don't think this is a sleeper. Indiana, I think will make it,
Okay.
even because I know they play.
Even if they lose to Ohio State,
I'm gonna
you
say yeah,
think?
they play Ohio State. If they keep it close and they're a one loss Big Ten team with how
Yeah.
good the Big Ten has been,
Mm-hmm.
I think they have an argument.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is my other sneaky one.
Sure.
I still think Ole Miss has potential. It's SEC, so anything can happen. They play Georgia this week. They beat Georgia. That argument gets really, really interesting. So I'd say
No
they're my
kidding.
other sleeper just in terms of having the resume building games still on their schedule to make them, have that jump into the playoff realm.
Sure. Sure. Okay. And then as far as a champion, who you got
Mhm.
winning it all? Who's gonna win the first ever 12 team?
I like Oregon a lot right now. I
Yeah.
like Oregon a lot. I think Texas is also interesting. The QB stuff. I, Arch is going to be there. I think they're rushing Arch a lot and they're causing a divided locker room, which their team is really good. So to do that right now seems really dumb. So I think if they smooth that ship a little bit more, they could be really, really interesting to watch. Ohio State, I think, is fraudulent. Penn State, I think, showed that they're fraudulent. Tennessee's not good. BYU's interesting, but come on, it's BYU. Uh, Bama's Bama. I don't know if Bama gets in. I
Yeah,
think that
I think the playoff. I think the committee might have put him in right now.
I think
Although
they are in right now. Yeah, I think they are. I think they are
they got to
the
keep winning
10
though.
or
They
11 seed in
they have
there.
like no margin of error now.
Yeah, they've got
They lose
no
one
margin of
more.
error, and I don't know who their schedule. I mean, I think their schedule is pretty easy to finish off. They have LSU, but then the rest are easy. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, they're 2 loss. So I think it comes down to Oregon, Georgia, and Texas.
Okay.
Obviously, it's
The
pretty
big
easy
three.
statement to make, but Oregon seems like they're going to be pretty tough to beat. Gabriel's playing out of his mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Potential Heisman for sure. I
Exactly.
like it. Oregon Ducks. Next up, I was wondering, Josh, would you like to do a new segment with me presented by no one?
I'd love to. I'd
Uh,
absolutely love to.
Okay. This is so stupid. This new segment is called You Don't Know Bo.
Okay.
Okay. This
Yeah.
this might be my dumbest segment yet. So
Fantastic.
basically, I'll give you the name of a city, and you tell me which famous Bo. I'll give you the city they last were
Okay.
professionally, and there's a famous Bo. So I got a bunch of cities, and you
Okay.
got to think of the famous Bo. So I don't know if you'll get it. You probably won't get all of them, but you
I'm
should.
gonna do my best.
Okay, Cleveland. Who's the famous Bo? He's a baseball player. I don't know if you follow baseball.
Okay, well, there's a couple answers here.
There's
I'm gonna
more.
get I'm gonna get a little I'm gonna get gray area. I'm gonna say Bo Naylor.
Yes, that's correct. That's the Bo
Okay.
I was talking about.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, Oakland.
Oakland. Oh, okay.
Long time ago. You know this one.
Oh, Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Okay.
Denver.
Bo Nix.
Toronto.
Bo Bichette.
Damn, I didn't think you were
Yep.
gonna get this many. Okay, this guy's retired. I don't know if you'll get him. Philly.
Okay.
Philly used to play for Wisconsin.
Football guy.
Yeah.
Football guy.
I don't know if you I don't know him that well. He's
Bo Dallas?
Bo Allen. That was kind of close.
Damn, Bo Allen. Is he tight end?
He's a nose tackle, I think.
Oh, he
D
sounded like a
tackle.
tight end.
Okay, Madison. Another famous Bo from Madison.
Madison. Like
Not
our Madison? Like
not Bo
Madison,
Allen.
Wisconsin?
Madison, Wisconsin, yeah. Famous Bo. Sounds kind of a trick question.
This is a trick question.
This is the dumbest segment I think I've ever.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I
It's
have this.
Bo. I don't know why I did this. Bo Ryan, the former coach.
Oh, wait, no, I could have gotten Bo Ryan. Wait,
Okay,
that was a good one. Met Bo Ryan. Great guy.
two more. Delaware. That's not a city. This is so
Delaware.
stupid.
Fuck.
Famous Bo from Delaware.
I mean,
You're not gonna know it.
I
It's
have no idea.
it's Bo Biden.
What the hell?
I didn't know there was a Bo Biden. I just looked up famous Bo's. I guess Joe had a
Is that a
son.
Joe Biden son?
Joe had a son named Bo Biden.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Cocaine's legal in Delaware?
may he no.
Oh.
No, that's that you're thinking of Hunter.
Ah, Hunter.
Bo actually passed away.
Oh,
But
ooh.
last may he rest in peace. Last one, Hollywood. The famous Bo from Hollywood.
Famous Bo from Hollywood.
I don't know why I did this.
Again, I'm gonna go gray area here. I'm gonna say Bo Peep.
Little Bo Peep. I like
Yep,
it.
technically Hollywood.
Not
She was great until she
that
was
actually would have that I'm gonna count that. It was Bo
okay.
Burnham. And that's the end of this dumbest segment I've ever done.
I'm surprised no Bo Callahan. I was waiting for the
Bo
draft pick
Callahan from Wisconsin.
from Wisco. I almost said that for Wisco.
The fictional Badger who got
Yeah,
drafted. Well, he got
great
drafted
quarterback.
5th overall or something.
Yeah, he slipped bad. He's projected number
They
one
thought he was going
overall. Cleveland
first
passed on him
drafted.
early. They went Vontae Mack.
Yeah, no, they Vontae Mack no matter what.
Crazy.
Couple more questions for you, Josh.
Yeah.
Why do you hate the NBA?
Oh,
That'd be one of my questions.
oh, the NBA.
Yeah, why do you hate the NBA?
I wish I liked it more than I do. It's just the worst. It's so boring. It's just the product is so bad. And I'm a college football guy. I'm an NFL guy. The NFL is the best thing that's ever been created. Period.
I love that.
The college basketball is such a better product than the NBA. It's not even funny.
Yep.
Everybody tries harder. The defense is better. The crazy plays and the craziness is just the same. The NBA obviously has the star players, of course, obviously, but the playoff structure sucks. The season is so long.
What about the
I mean,
in-season tournament?
yeah, that's really cool. I give a lot of shits about that. I mean, it's just like it's so lame, and it's so long. And the other thing is, at the end of the day, I think what they let in like 4 or 5 teams from each conference don't make the playoffs, which already like that's nothing.
Over half the league makes it.
Yeah, so over half the league makes the playoffs. That's lame. But once you're in the playoffs,
You don't like the
it's a
play-in?
7-game series. Like I still don't have to watch the playoffs until game 5. No matter who's playing. No matter who's playing. Because if it's a sweep, I could really care less.
That's
And
true.
then by the time game 5 comes around, if it's 2-2 or if it's 3-1, right, then at least it's interesting. But you don't have to watch a playoff basketball game until game 5. Period. I don't care how big of a fan you are. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, the
Kinda have a
NBA
point.
is just a bad product. It's a bad product. And the MLB's done enough changing where because they have very similar structures and same issues. But the MLB changed it up. They've tried making the game faster. They do best of 3 series, best of 5. NBA's got to start doing something like that. Like the play-in tournament, I think that was actually a great change. That I like watching those games because they matter more.
Right.
They just got to find a way to make things matter.
Yeah, maybe change the first round to a 5-game series like baseball.
Something. Yeah, because it's just and you say it for everything. Any given Sunday, any team can win, but literally any given day, any basketball team could win and make a run to the championship with how many games they play. It's just it's absurd.
Not an NBA guy.
Not an NBA guy, and I really wish I was because it's on all the time, and it's the longest season ever. Yeah,
Fair enough. 2 more questions for you.
Yeah.
This next one, I don't know if it's controversial to bring this up, but when are we gonna get you on Kill Tony?
Oh, tell me about it.
We've been thinking about that, right?
I gotta get on
Come
Kill Tony. That's the dream. That's the dream. Get my minute on there and then just get roasted beyond belief by some of the greats.
It'd be awesome, dude. I don't know how many people have seen your stand up, but Josh had a stand up set at a coffee house or something that was fucking hilarious, dude. It was like it was such like dark humor, so well written. You reminded me of like Louis C.K. just like
only the good parts. Only the good parts.
Only the good parts. Yeah, maybe not a great person to be compared to, but like comedically, your style of comedy I thought was similar. But
thank you. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, dark jokes. I say if I can make a 12-year-old, that's a bad. I'm not not gonna make that comment. That was gonna be a bad sound bite. That was gonna be a bad sound bite for me. I'm gonna take that one off the table.
Clip it. Clip it.
Yeah, my humor pretty much just makes dick jokes and whatever makes a teenage boy laugh. That's what I do.
That's great though. But yeah, whenever you're in Austin, you got to get on that show, man.
Oh, I
you'd
will
kill
do
it.
it at some point. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that one video, I don't know if I saw it on YouTube or what. You weren't actually like at a comedy show, right? You were just given like you were doing stand up to like a coffee shop that
There
didn't.
was I don't know which one you've seen. 'Cause I know
Okay.
Jana has the video of one that he shows to people all of the time.
There was one where there was not the right audience or
Yeah,
something.
there's one where it's like oh yeah, there's another one too where there's one in the coffee shop and there's one at the actual comedy club.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know which one you've seen.
Someone's just
Yeah,
getting
there's one where
someone's
the crowd is definitely not ready for the incest jokes within the first 20
yeah,
seconds.
some dude's just trying to get a coffee. He's like, who the fuck is this guy talking about this stuff?
Yeah.
It's great though. But yeah, no, would love to see you continue your comedy career in
Knocking
the
on wood,
future,
yeah.
man. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But one last question for you, Josh. Thanks again so much for pulling up to the podcast. I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me. This has been a blast. I can talk sports all day.
Yeah, I don't know, we might have went a little long here. So I apologize if I'm
First time in my
keeping
life.
from from stuff
that.
there. There's the comedy.
There's the
But
wit right there.
But yeah, thanks again. Last question for you. I have this theory that sports are so awesome because those moments that give you goosebumps, right?
Mhm.
So what is your all-time favorite moment in sports? Whether you were at the game, watching it, heard it on the radio, you were in the game.
Mhm.
And if I don't know, you don't have to pick a favorite, but what kind of comes to mind? Your favorite goosebump moment, your favorite all-time sports moment.
Mine is the Demaryius Thomas slant in
Yes.
overtime. It's because the reason I'm a Bronco fan is because of Tim Tebow. So
That's
everything Tim
why?
Tebow immediately. Yeah, that is why I became a fan. I was a diehard Tebow guy
Huh.
right when I was, in that age of picking what the team is that I'm gonna love for the rest of my life. And yeah, that play, I I think about that play like once a month at least.
That's
It is
awesome.
the best play of all time. The slant in OT takes it
Yeah,
to the house. Oh my God.
yeah,
That's the play.
yeah. 80 yards.
Oh,
Rest in peace, dude. But one of the greatest playoff moments ever, dude.
incredible. Especially as a Bronco. Oh, it was just unreal.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, yeah, that's all I got for you, Josh. Like I said,
Sweet.
thanks again for pulling up. I had a great time talking football with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you again for having me. This was awesome.
Yes, sir. You're welcome back on anytime. We'll have
Hell
to do it
yeah.
again
Let's
sometime.
go.
All right, bro. Well, I'll see you later.
Sounds good. Thank you again, Matt, for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks again, Josh, for pulling up to the podcast. Really appreciate it, man. We got to do it again at some point, and this Broncos money line bet better hit, bro. It better hit. All right, let's get to the goosebump moments of the week. Starting off at number 10, of course, we have a Kareem Hunt walk-off touchdown to keep the Chiefs undefeated.
Caliendo comes in. He's eligible. Here is Hunt for the touchdown. Kansas City remains unbeaten. 8-0. And a win in overtime.
Number 9, Drake May scrambles around for an insane touchdown to Ramondre Stevenson to force overtime. Holy crap.
Scanning, loads of time. He'll roll, he'll run. A sidestep, he's ready to throw, nobody's open. Into the end zone, touchdown! Oh my goodness, Stevenson! And May with an absolute jewel of an effort.
Number 8, Eastern Michigan completes a Hail Mary. But then they went for 2, and, well,
Lets it go to the end zone.
Final play.
It is caught!
Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable! And they're an extra point away from a tie game in Ypsilanti. Terry Lockett Jr.
And are they going to go for the win? They are. Oh, come on.
Snyder, end zone. It is incomplete. And Toledo hangs on in Ypsilanti.
number 7, Garrett Wilson with the greatest catch of all time.
To the end zone. And Wilson, can he one-handed and stay in bounds? They say he was out.
The only chance would be the knee if it came down. He has the ball. What a catch. Waiting for that other foot, just doesn't get down. The knee is close. That's what the crowd is reacting to.
What a grab, though. One-handed.
Oh, my gosh. Ridiculous catch.
The play clock is running.
Yeah, that maybe the shin gets down.
Number 6, Taj Brooks with the game winner from the Wildcat as Texas Tech upsets Iowa State.
To the end zone. Touchdown. Texas Tech has the lead over unbeaten Iowa State with 19 seconds left.
Number 5, Tyler Bass with a 61-yard game-winning field goal.
Who's got it? Who's got it? Who's got it?
Oh.
Number 4, Teoscar Hernandez ties Game 5 at 5-5 after the Dodgers were down 5-0.
The corners for Teoscar Hernandez.
Wow.
In the air to left center field. Judge on the run. Dead sprint now to the track, and it's over his head. Butts in to score. Freddie Freeman for the plate, and this game has been turned upside down. The Yankees crack the door open with the poor defense, and the Dodgers kick it down.
Number 3, Domantas Sabonis with a game-winning putback for the Sacramento Kings. Light the beam.
Spins, pulls for the win. Comes off. Sabonis for the win. It's in with .7. Timeout Miami.
Number 2, Donovan Mitchell with a game winner to keep the Cleveland Cavaliers undefeated. I don't know if they're still undefeated. At the time, though.
Every single second, Trent Jr. pokes it away. Mitchell for the lead with .3.
Number 1 moment of the week, DeMarcus Robinson with a one-handed walk-off touchdown grab.
Fires downfield. It is caught for a touchdown by Robinson. The Rams win it.
As disgusting as that Garrett Wilson one-handed catch was, that DeMarcus Robinson one-handed touchdown catch to walk it off and end the game might be even nastier because it won them the game. But some great moments this week, and hopefully a great show for you guys this week. I feel kind of wonky during the show. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing with my podcast anymore. But let me finish out the show as I usually do during football season with a TNF pick Thursday night football on redacted video. We have Bengals at Ravens. Ravens are favored -6. Personally, my pick is going to be Bengals +6 because this is a trap game. Which is weird because the Ravens know it's a trap game. But even so, fuck it. Fuck it. I'm just going to take the Bengals outright. Bengals money line. Give it to me. Joe Burrow's a winner, and he's going to get it done with his back against the wall. But then Jamar Chase is going to put the team on his back, though.